This is a video to all the HMO landlords out there. I'm sure you're really worried about the steep increases in utility costs right now. You know, it's going to make or break some landlords that will kind of just teetering on the edges anyway, and it's going to put into serious question the viability of investing in HMOs in the future, and understandably, because there's a lot of risks involved, and we're only just seeing the tip of the iceberg with this one. And this is talking from somebody that owns a lot of HMOs myself, and I also own a lettings and management agency that specialises in HMOs in and around Birmingham, so I'm quite exposed to this space, and yeah, it is an important issue. So what I'd like to do is firstly discuss what can be done about it immediately and what we can do about it to protect ourselves in the future. So first things first is that you're going to have to increase your rent to all tenants that are outside of their minimum term. So most HMO rooms have a minimum term of 6 months. So really, anybody who's been with you for longer than say 8 months, you'd have to start having that conversation with them about increasing the rent. Most rooms that have a shared bathroom, the rent would be about plus £25 increased a month to what they're currently paying. With all en suites, you increase it by about £50 a month to based on what they're paying right now, and obviously that might change depending where you are in the country. I guess the good news about that is that because it's going to happen across the board, the whole rate in the market is just going to go up by those amounts. So the tenant won't really have won't have that much of a choice, and I'm sure they'll rather stay where they are and stick with what they know. So really, you're just bringing your rent up to the new market rates. So that's one thing. And then obviously you can also install the electronic thermostats. And I'm talking about, Inspire, products like Inspire and Nest and stuff like that. Although you should be mindful that those aren't ideal solutions. They help make the landlord feel a bit better about things. But they're okay, but they're not that great, put it that way. They do bring with them their own challenges, especially the wireless ones. And then, you can also try to insulate the property better, which is something we should always be doing anyway. And obviously also then communicate better to the tenants, or more to the tenants, about the importance of not wasting energy, or just not being wasteful in general, actually. So those are the things we can do right now, and obviously, they should be doing them anyway, and they're not going to provide you immediate return. Okay, so the next thing is, and this is what we do to protect ourselves and our clients from any unforeseen costs. What we do is we actually always make sure that we always try to get as high a rent as possible for all our rooms. And we're talking about not just high, we're talking about above market rates. So for example, if a ensuite is about 500 or 550 in Birmingham, then our rent, we always try to aim for about 600, 625. To do this, you obviously need to be aiming at the higher end of the market anyway, as a product, or as where you are in the market. So, unfortunately, that's just what it is. So landlords with sort of the cheaper rooms and the smaller rooms are going to struggle, but you still get around it. But as a general policy, as a general strategy, you should always try to get above market rent for your product. Now, to do that, what we do is we start the marketing and the viewing process as soon as the tenant has given their 1 month's notice. That's really important, because that one month period gives us that breathing space to try out and try to get this higher rent, because as soon as the tenant's left, you're going to enter that void period, and that's when the landlord will be losing money, and then you will be pressured, or there'll be more of an urgency to accept a lower rent and maybe accept an application that isn't ideal. So always try to start the viewings and the marketing and the viewings during that 1 month as soon as the outgoing tenant has given their notice. For that to work, however, you always need to make sure that your product is always of the highest quality possible in your local area. which means that you have to keep your property and your room in showroom condition, or at least bring the room into showroom condition before the new tenant moves in. But if you can show them if you keep the communal areas presentable, then they can see what the standards is like and they'll trust you. But just make sure you provide them with a high quality product. That's really important, because that allows you to attract the tenants who are in a position to pay more, and they will pay more. What that allows us to do is that it just shields us from any, and on our clients, from any unforeseen costs, and it by providing a greater profit margin. So yeah, if that's not something your lettings agent is doing, certainly have a conversation with them, but certainly you should be doing it yourself, and really just to talk to them about it. And I hope that's been helpful.